Heaven has gone silent, waiting for your yes. This was not a delay. It was a test. If you don't respond, you'll forfeit what was meant to elevate you. In this sacred hour, heaven itself has grown still. Do not mistake this silence for absence, for the eternal throne has not abandoned you. Rather, this quiet is the weight of divine mystery pressing upon your spirit. What feels like delay is not delay at all. It is the testing of your heart, the refining of your soul, the moment where heaven bends low to watch your response. Heaven's silence is not empty. It is full of watchers, full of angelic witness, full of the eyes of the Lord searching to and fro to see if you will bow, if you will yield, if you will trust Him in the stillness. This message is not for the multitude. It is not for those who run after noise and distraction. It is for the chosen, the ones who have been marked for elevation, yet are standing on the thin line between obedience and forfeiture. For when heaven grows silent, it is not because God has withdrawn, but because He is measuring what you will do when the voice you crave does not come. Will you still believe? Will you still surrender? Will you still say yes? Beloved, you must understand this with holy urgency. The silence is a test, not a denial. It is the fire of refinement. What you feel as unanswered prayer is in truth the molding of your faith. The delay you perceive is the divine hand purifying your spirit so that when the blessing comes, it will not crush you, but elevate you. Yet, if you fail to discern, if you turn away, if you refuse your yes, the very gift crafted for your ascension could pass by and be given to another. Heaven's silence is not cruelty, it is mercy. It is the sacred pause before the release. But the condition has always been the same: obedience, stillness, surrender. Heaven waits, not because God is weak, but because He is drawing out the strength within you. You are being tested for the throne prepared for you. You are being measured for the mantle already written in your name. The silence is not forever. The silence will break, but it will break according to your response. Type "I am chosen" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 1444 is now activated. In this exact hour, heaven holds its breath. The courts of angels have grown still. The seraphim who cry, "Holy, holy, holy," have hushed their song, and the great canopy of heaven bends low in silence. This is no ordinary moment. This is no ordinary pause. It is the divine suspension of eternity itself, waiting, watching, and weighing the response of your heart. For heaven has not gone silent in abandonment. Heaven has gone silent in anticipation. Do you feel the weight of this pause? It is not emptiness you sense. It is expectation. The Spirit of the living God hovers, as He once did, over the waters of creation, waiting for the spoken word that will bring forth new life. Heaven's silence is not withdrawal. It is intensity. It is concentration. It is the moment before the trumpet blast, the breath before the breakthrough. All of eternity leans in to see if you will bow, if you will surrender, if you will release the yes that unlocks what has been held for you. I, Michael, messenger and guardian of the elect, declare to you this truth. Within days, the silence will break. But the sound that comes forth will be determined by your response. Will it break into the thunder of blessing, or will it break into the morning of forfeiture? The Lord has set before you a holy decision. The Spirit has set before you a narrow gate. You cannot delay forever. for the heavens themselves are waiting on your reply. I see your heart trembling beneath the weight of unanswered prayers. I see your spirit crying out, Lord, where are you? Why have you gone quiet? And yet, beloved, what feels like abandonment is not abandonment at all. It is a test, a holy trial, a sacred assessment of your faith. You are not being punished, you are being proven. You are not being ignored, you are being inspected. The silence is not a rejection. It is a proving ground where your yes will ring louder than any prayer you have ever prayed. Hear this and take it as divine instruction. This word is not for everyone. It is not for the distracted, nor for the doubters who mock the silence of heaven. This word is for the chosen ones who feel the gravity of eternity pressing upon their chests. It is for those whose spirit knows that the reason heaven feels paused is because their destiny is on trial. You are not forgotten. You are under divine observation. Even now, I invoke the Spirit of the Lord to bear witness to these words. I call upon the holy angels, watchers and warriors alike, to stand as witnesses over your decisions in this hour. The silence you hear is not void. It is the gathering of armies, the opening of scrolls, the measuring of hearts. Your yes carries more weight than you imagine. It is not a whisper in the air. It is a declaration in eternity. Beloved, take heed. Within days, the silence will break. But how it breaks depends on the posture of your heart in this moment. Heaven has not abandoned you. Heaven has arrested itself because of you. Do not mistake the stillness as rejection. It is heaven waiting on the sound of your obedience. Type I am anointed in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 1122 is now activated. There is a restlessness in your spirit that you cannot explain. You have prayed and waited, yet the heavens seem to give no answer. You rise in the night, heart heavy, searching for a whisper, but instead you meet only silence. You have looked to the skies for a sign, but the skies have remained still. You have placed your petitions before the Lord, yet the answers remain hidden. The silence has shaken you. It has unsettled you. It has pressed against your faith like a weight too heavy to carry. Do you not see? This silence is not empty. It is not void of meaning. The silence you feel is alive. It carries watchers. It carries witnesses. It carries the weight of heaven itself observing your every response. They told you God had forgotten you. They whispered that you had been abandoned. They mocked your waiting, pointing to the silence as proof that you were forsaken. But they do not see the test. They do not perceive the mystery. They do not know that heaven has grown still because your faith is on trial. In the stillness, doubts creep in. You wonder if you have failed. You question if you missed something. You ask if you took the wrong path, if you prayed the wrong prayer, if you sinned too greatly to be heard. But the truth is far deeper than your fears. The silence is not evidence of rejection. It is evidence of importance. The silence is proof that you are chosen. If you were not chosen, there would be no need for heaven to pause. If you were not marked, there would be no reason for this holy test. Heaven grows silent only for those whose obedience has weight in eternity. Beloved, hear this. Your restlessness is not punishment. It is disruption meant to draw your attention. The silence is not absence, but invitation. The Spirit of God has drawn back His voice so that you might lean in closer. The silence is heavy because angels are holding their place, watching if you will break under the weight of waiting, or if you will lift your hands in surrender. Heaven is not mocking you. Heaven is measuring you. The tension you feel in your spirit is not random. It is divine. What you call delay is in truth a refining fire. What you call abandonment is in truth a sacred proving ground. The heavens have paused to see if your heart can withstand the pressure of stillness. For it is in the silence that your yes gains power. It is in the silence that obedience becomes louder than shouting. It is in the silence that heaven learns whether you will bow to fear or stand in faith. Do not despise the silence, for hidden within it is the greatest invitation of your life. What feels like God's distance is actually His nearness in another form. He is near enough to watch, near enough to test, near enough to weigh your every decision. And though your soul feels disrupted, though your mind feels unsettled, know this: the silence is filled with destiny. And the destiny written for you waits only for your surrender. Type "I will not miss IT" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 1777 is now surrounding you. Beloved, as you hear these words, know that this mission is not about a voice on a screen. It is about souls, including yours, being awakened to the urgency of heaven. Every message sown here is a seed, and every seed carries a harvest of salvation, breakthrough, and transformation. When you choose to give, whether through super thanks, membership, or even through the PayPal link in the description, you are not giving to a channel. You are sowing into eternity. The Word declares that those who sow shall also reap. And in this hour, your seed is a prophetic act. I invite you now, if your spirit feels the weight of this silence, let your giving become your declaration of faith. Let it be your yes in action. And as you release, may rivers of blessing and multiplied oil pour back into your life. Do not wait, do not delay, move with heaven. Beloved, what you are experiencing in this silence is not simply waiting, it is warfare. The stillness of heaven is not a void, it is a battlefield. You must understand this truth. When heaven goes silent, it is not because your prayers are ignored, but because your faith is being weighed on the scales of eternity. Your reaction in the silence is your declaration in the Spirit. Every sigh, every whispered cry, every choice you make while the heavens remain still is speaking louder than the words that left your lips. The silence is not random. It is precise. It is intentional. It has been allowed because you are chosen. The adversary wants you to believe that silence means rejection, but in truth, silence means elevation. The enemy fears your obedience, for he knows that if you say yes in the quiet, your yes becomes unstoppable in the storm. The silence is a spiritual arena where doubt and faith clash within you, and your response determines the outcome. Hear this: heaven has not turned its face from you. The Lord has not cast you aside. No, He has set you apart. The silence is not abandonment, but alignment. The Father watches in stillness to see if His child will trust Him without a visible sign. The angels stand in their ranks, waiting to move at the command of your surrender. Every moment of quiet is a measure. Every moment of stillness is a test. Every unanswered prayer is a proving ground for the strength that is being forged within you. This silence is not a punishment. It is not divine cruelty. It is the evidence that you are marked for more. Do you not know? If you were ordinary, if you were common, if you were not destined for greatness, heaven would not pause over your life. But because you are chosen, because you are set apart, because your name is written in the Lamb's book of life with destiny assignments tied to it, the heavens have grown silent so that your faith may be tested, weighed, and proven. The silence is conflict, yes, but it is holy conflict. It is the place where your spirit is purified like golden fire. It is where you learn to worship without a sign, to trust without a word, to stand without a crutch. And though it feels heavy, though it feels endless, remember this. Silence is a strategy of heaven. For in the stillness, the enemy cannot predict your move. In the quiet, your obedience becomes unpredictable, your surrender becomes unshakable, and your faith becomes unbreakable. Beloved, take courage. You are not forgotten in the silence. You are being framed, strengthened, and refined for the throne prepared for you. The silence is the evidence that you are chosen. The silence is the battlefield where your faith becomes your weapon. Lift your head, stand firm, and know this. God has not turned away. He is closer than ever, watching, weighing, and waiting for your yes to rise like incense before his throne. Type "My faith is my weapon" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 2888 is now surrounding you. Beloved, I speak to you with urgency, for time is not standing still. The silence you are experiencing will not last forever. The heavens are waiting, but they will not wait indefinitely. Within the courts of heaven, a divine clock is already ticking, and your obedience or your hesitation will determine what comes forth when the silence breaks. The Spirit has revealed this truth. In the coming 72 hours, decisions of faith will shape destinies. In this window, heaven will either release the blessing prepared for you, or it will restrain it until another season, another vessel, or another obedient heart rises in your place. This is not a threat. It is a holy warning. You stand in a critical hour where delay in your obedience could mean forfeiture of what was meant to elevate you. The silence is about to break, but whether it breaks into breakthrough or into sorrow depends on the sound of your response. If you say yes, the silence will shatter into thunderous blessing, and doors that were sealed will swing open. But if you resist, if you ignore the tug of the Spirit, the silence will give way to a sorrowful passing of what could have been yours. I tell you the truth. Unseen hands are already moving. Assignments are being arranged, tests are being set, and confrontations are being prepared. The enemy knows the timing of your breakthrough, and he will tempt you to doubt, to delay, to distract yourself in these final hours of silence. He will whisper that nothing is changing. He will try to lure you into believing that your yes is meaningless. But hear me clearly, your yes is everything. It is the key to the vault that has been locked. It is the command that releases the armies of heaven. It is the sound that will turn silence into song. This is the moment where heaven pauses, but earth presses against you with urgency. You cannot waver now. You cannot afford indifference. What you choose in the silence will echo in eternity. What you release in this moment will either open the floodgates or allow them to remain sealed. The weight of destiny hangs on the edge of your obedience. Beloved, I do not say this lightly. The blessing prepared for you was crafted for your elevation, not for your destruction. It was designed to lift you, not crush you. But if you resist, if you ignore, if you turn your ear away, then what was meant for your rise could pass by and be handed to another. Do not let silence trick you into forfeiting your inheritance. Do not let waiting tempt you into walking away. The silence is a test, and the test is about to end. Take this warning as mercy. Take it as love. The Lord would not speak such urgency if He did not still have plans for you. The silence is about to break, and you hold the power to determine how it breaks. Say yes, surrender, obey, for the time of hesitation is over. Heaven is waiting, but not for long. Type "I will obey" now in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 3999 is now activated over your life. Beloved, hear me now. The silence that has unsettled you is not meant to destroy you, but to draw you deeper into divine obedience. You have felt the weight of waiting. You have carried the ache of unanswered prayers. But this moment is not a punishment. It is a sacred opportunity to be aligned with heaven. What you do now will either shield you from unnecessary battles or expose you to storms you were never meant to endure. That is why this moment requires protective guidance from above. The instruction of heaven in this hour is clear. Be still. Do not run to the noise of men when the heavens have grown silent. Do not seek counsel from those who mock what they cannot understand. Be still and know that He is God. In stillness, your ears are tuned to frequencies that cannot be heard in chaos. In stillness, you will perceive the whispers of the Spirit that guide you to safety and alignment. The silence is not a trap. It is a womb. Do not abort the process by filling it with distractions. The second command is this: listen. But not with your fleshly ears, with your spirit. There are words God is not speaking through the wind, but through the weight of silence. Do not demand thunder when He is speaking in quiet. Listen to the burden in your chest. Listen to the stirring in your spirit. Listen to the way the silence itself bends your soul towards surrender. Heaven is communicating, not with noise, but with stillness. And then, beloved, respond. Not with endless questions, not with complaints, but with a yes. Your yes is not just agreement. It is a key. It unlocks what the silence has held. It breaks what the delay has restrained. Do not wait to understand everything before you obey. Your yes will bring understanding. Obedience precedes revelation, not the other way around. Say yes in faith, and the silence will yield its secrets. This is the hour of surrender. Heaven is not calling you to strive harder, but to bow lower. Prayer in this season is not about multiplying words, but magnifying trust. Fasting is not about hunger of the flesh, but hunger of the spirit. Silence before men is not weakness, but strength, for it positions you to hear what the crowd cannot hear. Obedience is the only key that fits this lot. Your stillness is your weapon. Your yes is your unlocking. Your surrender is your shield. And know this: heaven fights hardest for those who rest in obedience. While you sit still before the throne, angels war on your behalf. While you quiet your mind, heaven shakes the ground in places unseen. While you say yes, doors that resisted you for years begin to tremble. The silence is not your enemy. It is your covering. It is your shield. It is heaven's way of hiding you until the day of your release. So take courage, chosen one. Follow the instruction. Be still, listen, respond with your yes. The silence that unsettled you will soon become the silence that secures you. Heaven is not punishing you. Heaven is protecting you. And when the silence finally breaks, it will not break against you, but for you. Type my yes is my shield in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 4114 is now surrounding you. Beloved, hear me. This silence is not your downfall. This silence is not your punishment. This silence is your preparation. What felt like abandonment was the hand of God shaping you, pressing you, refining you for the weight of glory to come. You have been asking, why so long, Lord? Why so quiet? But the silence has been heaven's answer all along, because you are not being destroyed, you are being transformed. This moment is not the end of you. It is the remaking of you. You are not the same person who entered this season of silence. When the heavens first grew quiet, you trembled, you questioned, you wept. But now look, though the silence still lingers, something in you has shifted. You are learning to stand without applause, to trust without signs, to worship without answers. This is empowerment. This is the fire of refinement, burning away weakness and birthing strength. Do not see yourself as abandoned. See yourself as chosen. You are not a victim of divine silence. You are a vessel being forged in it. Every unanswered prayer was a hammer shaping you. Every night of waiting was a fire purifying you. Every tear you shed was water cleansing you. You are not broken. You are being built. The silence has not left you empty. It has left you ready. Beloved, this is your transformation hour. You are rising from silence with wings that were hidden until now. The old you could not carry the mantle that is being released. The old you could not handle the weight of the blessing heaven is preparing to place on your shoulders. That is why heaven had to still its voice, to bring forth the you that is not weak, not wavering, not bound by fear, but refined, purified, and unstoppable. The silence was not meant to reduce you. It was meant to reveal you. It was not punishment. It was preparation. And now, you stand on the edge of a new dimension. You have been pressed, but not crushed. You have been silenced, but not forsaken. You have been refined, but not destroyed. You are stronger than you know, braver than you believed, and more anointed than you ever imagined. Lift your head, chosen one. This silence has made you dangerous to the enemy. He thought it would break you, but instead it has built you. He thought it would silence your worship, but instead it has deepened it. He thought it would destroy your faith, but instead it has forged it into unshakable steel. You are not walking out of this silence the same way you entered it. You are rising with a new authority, with a new fire, with a new clarity of purpose. This is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of your transformation. The silence is breaking, not just over your life, but within you. The person who emerges from this refining fire will not be one who trembles at delay, but one who walks boldly into destiny. This silence has shifted you from weakness into strength, from confusion into clarity, from waiting into rising. Beloved, you are not who you were when the silence began. And when it ends, you will walk in a power you did not have before. Rise, for the silence has prepared you to soar. Type "I am rising" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 5225 is now activated. Beloved, the veil is lifting, and the mystery of the silence is being revealed. The quiet you have endured was not heaven ignoring you. It was heaven testing you. Every unanswered prayer, every day of waiting, every night of tears carry one hidden purpose: to measure your obedience before your promotion. Heaven was not silent because you were forgotten, but because you were chosen. The silence was never meant to punish you. It was meant to prepare you. The silence was heaven's confirmation, but you were standing at the threshold of elevation. Do not mistake it. The silence was strategic. God was not withholding to harm you. He was withholding to ready you. The silence was the holy ground where your faith was tested, where your patience was refined, where your surrender was forged. What you thought was delay was actually design. What you thought was rejection was actually protection. And now, the Spirit declares, the silence was a test, and your yes is the unlocking. Heaven has been waiting for one thing: your response. Not your striving, not your endless questions, not your attempts to fix what only God can heal. No, heaven has been waiting for your yes. For the moment your heart bows fully in obedience, the silence shifts into sound. The moment your surrender is complete, the heavens open, and what was restrained is released. This is the prophetic revelation. The silence was the womb of your elevation. Your yes is the key that will birth it. Beloved, hear me clearly. This silence has not been wasted. It has been recording you. Every act of faith, every tear of endurance, every whispered prayer in the quiet has been stored in the course of heaven. Your name has been spoken in places you cannot see. Your obedience has been weighed in scales you cannot touch. And now, heaven is prepared to answer with fire, with doors opening, with blessings breaking forth that will confirm to all who doubted that the silence was divine. Do not despise what you have walked through, for the silence itself has marked you. You are not the same. You have been measured, tested, refined, and now you are ready to carry what heaven has prepared. This is your unlocking. This is your release. Your yes activates your elevation. Your obedience summons your promotion. Your surrender calls forth your destiny. The silence was a test, and now the test is about to turn into testimony. Beloved, you must know this. Your yes is not small. It is not invisible. It reverberates in eternity. The heavens themselves have paused because of you. And now, your yes will send a ripple through eternity that cannot be undone. Rise, for the silence was never the end. It was the beginning of your breakthrough. Type "My yes breaks the silence" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 6336 is now surrounding you. Beloved, as this revelation settles in your spirit, understand this. What you receive here is not entertainment. It is eternal impartation. Every message poured out in this place is a seed of fire, and when you support, you become a vessel through which that fire spreads. Scripture declares, "He who sows generously will also reap generously," and your gift becomes a prophetic act that carries light into dark places. I say this to you with authority. When you choose to give through super thanks, membership, or even the PayPal link in the description, you are not funding a voice. You are fueling revival. Your seed is your yes in action. Your giving is your declaration that heaven's silence will turn to song, not just for you, but for countless others. Do not hold back. Sow now, and may the oil of heaven multiply upon your life in ways you cannot contain. Beloved, the time has come. The silence that has wrapped itself around your life is not meant to linger forever. Heaven has held its breath, the angels have stood still, and eternity has paused. But now, the call is clear. The next step is not complicated. It is not hidden. It is one word, one response, one surrender, yes. Your destiny hinges on your yes. The silence will not break until you give it. The blessing will not flow until you release it. Heaven itself is waiting for the sound of your obedience. Do you not see how weighty this moment is? All of creation has tilted toward your decision. The heavens are paused, waiting. The angels are watching, listening. The Spirit of the Lord is pressing upon you, not to crush you, but to call you. Say yes, and the gates will swing open. Say yes, and the silence will shatter. Say yes, and the fullness of what has been withheld will rush in like a mighty river. But if you hesitate, if you linger in doubt, the silence will remain, and what was meant for you may slip away. Beloved, you cannot afford hesitation. This is not a casual invitation. This is destiny knocking at your door. Your yes is not just for you. It carries generations. It carries nations. It carries the weight of those connected to your obedience. What you release in this moment will ripple across time, breaking chains, opening doors, shifting atmospheres. Heaven has paused because the earth is waiting for your yes. Do not say you are too small. Do not say you are too broken. Do not say you are too late. The silence itself proves that you are chosen. If you were unimportant, heaven would not wait. If you were replaceable, heaven would not pause. You are marked, beloved, and the silence is heaven's testimony that your life carries weight in eternity. Now heaven waits for you to align. Say yes with boldness. Say yes with surrender. Say yes with the faith that even though you do not see the full picture, the one who holds the future holds you. Do not let fear silence your response. Do not let doubt steal your inheritance. Your yes is your key, your weapon, your unlocking. It is the word that breaks the silence and activates the destiny written in the books of heaven concerning you. Beloved, this is your moment of activation. The silence has tested you, refined you, proven you, and now your obedience will release what was restrained. Lift your voice, lift your heart, lift your yes before heaven's throne. For the silence is about to break, and your response will determine how it breaks. Say yes now. Align now. Heaven is waiting for your response. Type "My destiny is activated" in the comments if you received this message. Blessing code 7447 is now unlocked over your life. Beloved, let me reveal to you the hidden mystery. The silence you have endured is not empty, it is not void, and it is not wasted. There is a silent exchange taking place in the spirit realm, an unseen negotiation between heaven and earth that is too holy to be shouted aloud. What you perceive as delay is actually divine storage. Blessings you prayed for are not lost. They are held in suspension. Promises that seem denied are not gone. They are being safeguarded until the moment your obedience releases them. Do you not see? Angels are standing still, holding treasures with your name on them. They have not been sent forth because heaven is waiting for your yes. While you sleep, they stand guard. While you cry, they take record. While you hesitate, they hold what belongs to you in sacred trust, waiting for the sound of your surrender. The silence is not God's absence. It is His arrangement. He has commanded the hosts of heaven to wait, to preserve, to withhold, until the testing of your heart is complete. There are transactions happening in silence that human eyes cannot see. The silence is heavy because scrolls are being opened, names are being spoken, and destinies are being weighed. Heaven has paused not because you are forgotten, but because you are significant. What you call delay is heaven ensuring that nothing slips into your life out of time. Nothing comes before its season. Nothing arrives before you are ready to carry it. The silence is sacred because it protects. Imagine if heaven had released too soon. Blessings could have broken you. Doors could have crushed you. Responsibilities could have drowned you. But in mercy, heaven chose to hold. In wisdom, heaven chose to wait. And now, as the silence lingers, your spirit senses the tension. You feel the weight, the restlessness, the pressure. It is not because nothing is happening, but because everything is happening behind the veil. Beloved, this is the exchange. Your yes for heaven's release. Your obedience for heaven's overflow. Your surrender for heaven's abundance. Heaven will not move until your heart does. The angels are watching, the witnesses are listening, and all of eternity is leaning in to see if you will activate the exchange with your response. What looks delayed is not denied. It is stored safely until your surrender summons it forth. This is why the silence feels unbearable, because your spirit knows something is happening. Deep down, you sense the shift, the pull, the nearness of breakthrough. You cannot explain it, but you feel it. That heaviness, that tension, that holy restlessness. It is the sign of the silent exchange. Heaven is moving even when you cannot hear it. Heaven is working even when you cannot see it. Heaven is preparing even while you are waiting. Beloved, let your heart not fail in this hour. The silence is proof that heaven is at work on your behalf. You are not forgotten. You are being preserved. You are not abandoned. You are being prepared. And soon, the silence will break, and what has been held in secret will be delivered openly. Type "Heaven is moving for me" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 8558 is now surrounding you. Beloved, let me declare this truth into your spirit. The silence was not abandonment. It was justice in motion. Heaven's quiet did not mean you were ignored. It meant that judgment was being prepared in your favor. The silence you endured was shielding you from premature exposure. What you thought was denial was, in fact, divine delay designed to protect you until the right time. Do not mistake the stillness of heaven for inactivity. God was moving in ways unseen, protecting you from traps laid in the dark, shielding you from battles you were not ready to fight, and guarding you from enemies who sought your downfall. The silence was heaven's courtroom. While you were waiting, decrees were being written. While you were crying, judgments were being sealed. While you were questioning, the Lord was reversing plots, nullifying accusations, and silencing voices that rose against you. You wondered why heaven grew so quiet, but the silence was a shield. It was God saying, "Not yet. My child must be hidden until the hour of release." The silence was not punishment, it was protection, and it has set the stage for reversal. For those who mocked you, for those who said your prayers were wasted, for those who laughed at your waiting, they will see the reversal with their own eyes. The silence was not the end of your story, it was the pause before vindication. Heaven will not only release what was withheld, but it will multiply it. What was delayed will return in double measure. What was restrained will come back with overflow. What seemed like loss will be restored in greater portion. The very ones who thought you were forgotten will witness the abundance that silence has prepared. Beloved, I declare this over you. The silence has been your setup. The test has been your preparation. And now, the reversal is your portion. You will see the evidence of God's justice. You will walk in the blessing of divine restoration. The delay was a test. The test was your yes, and the yes is your release. You are not stepping out of silence empty-handed. You are stepping out with arms full of promises, blessings, and breakthroughs that have been maturing in secret. Do not despise the days of quiet, for it was in those days that heaven fought battles you never saw. It was in those days that the Lord turned the tables against the adversary. It was in those days that hidden snares were broken and secret traps were exposed. And now the silence will give way to sound, the sound of justice, the sound of reversal, the sound of restoration. Beloved, the silence was always working for you. You could not see it, but heaven was moving. You could not hear it, but heaven was judging. You could not feel it, but heaven was protecting. And now, as the silence breaks, you will see what was happening all along. Divine justice has spoken, and reversal has begun. Type justice and reversal are mine in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 9669 is now activated over your life. Beloved, take this to heart. The silence was never your punishment. It was never your rejection. It was heaven's way of refining you, of shaping you, of preparing you for the release that now draws near. You thought the silence meant you were forgotten, but in truth, the silence meant you were chosen. You thought the waiting meant God turned away, but in truth, the waiting meant He was drawing you closer. What you perceived as a pause was, in fact, the polishing of a vessel destined to carry weight in eternity. Now hear the word of the Lord. The silence is ending. Your yes has broken it. Your obedience has pierced through it. Your surrender has unlocked the floodgates that were restrained. You are not stepping out of this season empty. You are stepping out full of fire, full of clarity, full of anointing, full of the blessing that was crafted for your elevation. The silence was never wasted, and not a tear shed in it will go unrewarded. Beloved, lift your head. You are sealed, seen, and sent. You are marked by heaven, not by rejection, but by appointment. The silence was your test, and you have endured. Now, rise into your new season with confidence. For the Lord himself has declared, "You are mine. I have refined you, and I release you." What was held back is now being released. What was hidden is now being revealed. What was delayed is now being accelerated. Go forth in faith. Walk forward in courage. Stand strong in obedience. For your yes has shifted eternity. The silence has been broken. Heaven has answered. Now rise, beloved, for your time has come. Type "the silence is broken" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 1010 is now released over your life. Beloved, as this prophetic word comes to its close, remember this. The silence breaking over your life is not just for you. It is for others who still sit in the waiting. This mission is to carry the word of God to those who have not yet found their yes, to awaken hearts and to stir destinies. When you give, whether through Super Thanks, YouTube membership, or the PayPal link in the description, you are sowing directly into souls. You are planting seeds of light in the darkest of places, ensuring that others hear the same voice that just spoke to you. The Lord says, "Give, and it shall be given unto you, pressed down, shaken together, and running over." Your gift is not just support. It is prophecy in action. It is destiny in motion. It is revival release. Do not wait. Do not hesitate. So now, and may the same anointing that broke your silence multiply in your life 100-fold.